Hello everyone, this week's record of the week is Full Moon Fever, which was released by Tom Petty in 1989. So during the release of the record and afterwards the tour for the record, this project actually stirred quite a bit of controversy. This is because Full Moon Fever was actually Tom Petty's debut studio album as a solo artist. So previously Tom Petty was playing with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and with him and the Heartbreakers they had a pretty great run, but as is popular with most artists, eventually, Tom Petty decided that he kind of wanted to break away from the Heartbreakers. He wanted to do his whole thing. Thus was born Full Moon Fever. The overall record is definitely a nostalgia run with influences from the Beatles, Bo Diddley, the Byrds, Buddy Holly, and even the Heartbreakers, which he worked with quite a bit beforehand. This album is a mixture of rock and roll with notable influences to pop at the time, as well as some southern rock and country. And actually was something that Tom Petty was a little bit frustrated with how to label his sound versus how people labeled his sound. The record was a fantastic critical success. It peaked at number 3 on the US Billboard 200 and has a host of different hits. I mean, Tom Petty was really great at creating this sound that he was very distinct about, while also writing something for a wide audience was kind of his thing, and it definitely shows up on this record more than any of his other works. My favorite tracks on this record would have to be I Won't Back Down, Running Down the Dream, and You're So Bad. While Free Falling is the first track on this record and it's still a very good song, it's just a little bit too overplayed for me. For an overall rating, I would give this record a solid 8 out of 10. It's really fun, it's super fantastic. Again, if you are a songwriter, if you love southern rock, if you love country, if you love like the late 80s pop, you're really going to have fun with this. There's a lot of guitar work. Tom Petty also wrote a lot of catchy choruses that'll just get stuck in your head and are really fun to sing along to. The only critique that I would really give this record is that one of its biggest strengths is also one of its biggest weaknesses, and that is that there's just a lot of hits on here. Tom Petty did a really great job of writing these fun, poppy choruses that we all know and love, but for me, a perfect record has several hits that kind of get you into the room and has some B-sides that are harder to pick apart, but ultimately encourages the listener to stick around. So there's the record of the week. I'll be posting about this a little bit more in my story as I dig a little bit further into it. If you have any sort of thoughts or comments, feel free to share them with me. And as always, feel free to listen with me.